Okay, today Geely is launching a new car brand and also a new model. This is going to be called Geometry, and the new model is going to be A. And what Geometry is a premium electric car brand. It's I think the first car maker to produce a dedicated premium electric car brand. Nobody else has done it this way. And what is interesting is that the reasoning behind the new brand is that they see that electric cars will bring a lot of new changes to the automotive industry. And among the changes, I guess because electric cars are going to use a lot of the componentry and the design sensibility of the electronic industry, where there is a lot of commonality and modularity, there will be a lot of convergence in the industry, and companies will probably have to come together and develop ways to work together because of that modularity and the commonality that is involved in the car industry of the future. And of course, that will mean major changes to the industry in the way that, of course, also the way that people will use the cars, because as with electric car technology, there will be other things that will be coming along as well. Big data is already here, and with big data there's a big push for autonomous driving cars or self-driving cars, and these self-driving cars will of course change the whole landscape of the automotive industry. And as Mr. Ang Chong-Hui said just now, the companies may have to change their way of looking at things and not just become car companies, but actually become mobility solution companies. What that probably means is that these cars may be distributed or sold or used in very different ways in the future, in the sense that if now we all buy our own cars, in the future we might just share the cars and take a timeshare and just use it that way. We get an allocation of hours for the car, and then we just use it in that manner, and the cars are then will be more heavily used, and because of the mode of usage, these cars will have to be also designed differently. Batteries will have to be more durable, faster charging. There might be a different way of solving the charging problem, as these cars will need to be on the road more like taxis rather than private cars. And as commercial vehicles, they'll probably have to be more robust and in the end will be more expensive, but they'll be more efficiently used. And as a result, we might see a situation where there'll be less cars on the road, but these cars that are on the road will be more profitable for their owners and or the companies that provide them as a mobility service. And it's interesting to see Geely making this move into the global market. And of course, it's not that strange because China is a leader in terms of electric cars. They produce more electric cars than anybody else in the world, and this car is just going to be the first one that will come out of China onto the world market. According to Geely, they have secured 9,000 pre-bookings in China alone, and 18,000 pre-bookings from the rest of the world. A lot of it is from Europe and also from South America, Norway, France and Argentina apparently. And Singapore has ordered these cars, and therefore this will actually have an order book of nearly 30,000 cars at launch. So we'll see what the take-up rate is going to be and how the rest of the world will receive this Chinese electric car. Now, in terms of price, the commercial price for this car, there are two versions. There is the long-range version and there's the standard version. The long-range version will start at 230,000 renminbi, and then it goes up to 240 and 250 for the top of the range long-range version. The standard version will start at 210,000, and then it will be 220 and 230 for the range-topping standard version. The long-range version will travel 500 kilometers between charge, while the standard version will do 410 kilometers between charge. Now, what's interesting is that China, of course, has a very strong electric car policy, and they give generous incentives. So there's a tax break that you can enjoy if you buy these cars. and the Chinese government offers quite a generous tax break, and they showed the tax adjusted prices for the premium, for the long range version, the top end. If the full price was 250,000, the subsidized price will be 190,000. That goes to 180 and 170,000 for the base long range version. For the standard version, it will have a price range that starts from 150,000, then 60, 170 for the top range topping version. So that's a generous subsidy of nearly 25% of the car price. And so you will see China continuing, I think, to lead the way in terms of electric car production and everything that is associated to it, because the numbers will simply be staggering. The number of electric cars in China will simply be staggering, and the technology will then just develop in leaps and bounds in ways that you simply cannot do without these numbers of cars on the road. So I think the Chinese government is taking on not just a view of how to make their countries greener, but in a way it will actually give them a massive technological advantage going into the future. And of course the marketing model for these cars will also be quite innovative, I'm guessing. It will be quite different, the way that Mr. Ang said just now, the way how they said that these cars might be part of a mobility solution. So we will see how they will be marketed in the future. And of course, in terms of the design, you see that how they're using hypoallergenic materials for the interior. It shows that they are looking at a very different segment of the market, or a different crowd, a crowd that is from the new millennium, who will be more sensitive to things like hypoallergenic and of course nature-friendly materials. And these are apparently made from recycled stuff.